Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Nike MercurialX Proximo Street Turf shoes in the latest gold, black, and white colorway. Now inside the box, they do include a string bag to go along with the shoes themselves. The string bag, as you can see, is black in color with black strings. It has a white Nike swoosh on the one side and your white Nike football branding on the other. Other than that, all you're going to find inside the box are, of course, the shoes themselves. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at what is a very good looking colorway of the Nike MercurialX Proximo Street. Now in today's video, we are of course going to take a detailed look at the colorway itself. We're going to talk tech specs and really all the performance features you should know about this shoe, as well as take a look at how these things fit and feel on feet, just to give you a better idea of what you're buying with this particular product. So if you are interested in learning more, please stick around, watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you will find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these guys up in either the turf or indoor variation below its normal $150 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. Now with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now, of course, the standout color on this shoe is this gold, which is not the same as the metallic gold coin color that we've seen from Nike on several models up until this one. If you compare it to something like the first Neymar signature colorway of the Hypervenom Phantom that he wore during the World Cup, that had a very shiny gold finish, whereas this is more of a semi-gloss look, which in all honesty, I personally prefer. So of course, the entire Nike skin covering is that solid gold color. You're also going to find a slightly different shade of gold in the actual texturing here, running through the medial side of the toe box and forefoot area. The Nike swoosh on the front as well as the back. Actually, the front one is more of a matte finish black, whereas the back one is more of a shiny finish for whatever reason. And then of course, the actual exposed Flyknit area is a combination of black and kind of like a lighter gray color that again looks really, really good. The mid layer is black, so when it stretches out, it doesn't reveal any special colors or anything like that. The laces are solid black as well. You have the MercurialX branding going down the back of the shoe in a gloss black too. And then of course, you're going to find that the entire midsole and outsole is pretty much white in color, at least all the parts that you can see while you're actually standing in the shoes. Whereas at the bottom, you can see it reveals two different shades of gray in kind of a foot mapping pattern with a black Nike swoosh in the midfoot. So that's pretty much it in terms of what you need to know about the colorway. Really good looking shoe. I'm a big fan, but let me know your opinions down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. Performance-wise, you're getting a very solid shoe with the MercurialX Proximo Street. It's essentially the upper of a Superfly 4 with some very minor modifications that I'll point out in just a second, on a very low profile foam midsole, keeping you nice and close to the ground. And then of course with the option of either an indoor or turf bottom, this one being the turf variation, as you guys can very clearly see. Now, with this particular shoe, there is a little bit of confusion because certain colorways bear the street name, whereas other colorways do not. This one happens to be a Proximo Street model, whereas some of the other ones are just regular Proximos. What does that actually mean? Because obviously there's no price difference. It doesn't really mean anything. There's no explanation as to why the names are actually different. They're exactly the same shoes. The only thing that is going to differ is the actual colorway itself. So the street version isn't any better suited for indoor use or street soccer use. Like I said, they're all the same aside from the colors. Now in terms of the actual tech specs here, again, it's the upper of a Superfly 4. Flyknit construction, you have the elasticated Flyknit running through the middle of the shoe as well as in the mid-cut dynamic fit collar. And then of course the more structured Flyknit running through the main portion of the upper that's covered in this gold Nike skin top layer. It also has the Brio cables running from the base of the sole into the lacing system, which adds a lot of extra support when you pull the laces tight. And of course it does have the same internal fused on support cage that you would normally get on the Superfly 4 as well. So it's thin, soft, flexible, but still maintains a very good responsive kind of locked in sensation when you're actually wearing them. What you will find as a difference coming from a regular pair of firm ground Superfly 4s is the added texturing right here in the forefoot and toe box area. Now it's kind of like a gritty sandpaper-like texturing, and they put it on the upper in the form of these little dots. Essentially what that's there to do is just kind of reinforce the high wear zone of the upper, which is right here. So it's going to enhance the durability of the shoe, as well as actually provide a little bit of additional grip on the ball that you wouldn't otherwise have. Is it a super noticeable feature? No, but it is nice that it's there on the kind of indoor or turf variation of the Superfly 4. You're also going to notice that the rubber lip going around the front is pretty high up, so you're going to get some good coverage where the upper meets the sole of the shoe. So sole separation is not really a huge concern here, and you're going to get that same lip on both the indoor or turf variation of the shoe. On the inside, it's again the same construction as a pair of Superfly 4s. You have a smooth synthetic leather liner in the heel that does take some getting used to, but once broken in properly, it will be quite comfortable for you. And then of course you get this insole, which is actually a little bit different than a standard pair of Superflies. This is specific to the MercurialX model in that it does have the mesh liner, no perforations as you can see, and it's a slightly thicker kind of ortholite type material. And really this is what's going to provide the majority of the underfoot cushioning for you with this particular shoe, because they are very low profile. There's no plastic in the construction of the actual midsole. There's a little bit of Phylon foam running through the heel into the midfoot, very thin layer there. So minimal underfoot cushioning, a little bit in the heel and pretty much none in the forefoot. The only cushioning you're gonna get in the forefoot is, like I mentioned, from the actual insole. So if you wanna be very close to the ground, this is the lowest profile line from Nike, the MercurialX line. But if you like a lot of underfoot cushioning and just general impact protection, you may want to look elsewhere because, like I said, there's just not a lot of it here with the MercurialX layout. As far as the outsole is concerned, again, the shoe is available in both an indoor or turf variation. If you're playing indoors or on concrete or any kind of hard flat surface, the indoor bottom would be ideal. Whereas if you're playing on kind of a turf field, even an artificial grass playing surface, so turf being kind of the rough carpet material, whereas artificial grass is the synthetic plastic blades of grass with the little rubber pellets. These will work on both of those playing surfaces. They're ideal for turf, whereas on artificial grass, they will get the job done, although they won't have the same kind of aggressive traction performance that you can get from an AG stud pattern, which is also offered on the Superfly 4. But again, these are $150 versus $275, which is what you're going to pay for a Superfly 4. So even if you're just looking to try out the Superfly 4 kind of design, the mid-cut Flyknit model from Nike, for $150, this is the cheapest way of doing so. Plus, they look pretty good too. So that is pretty much it in terms of what you need to know regarding the tech specs of the MercurialX Proximo Street. And next, we're going to move on to a quick weigh-in so we can see how lightweight these guys are. In terms of weight, the MercurialX Proximo is definitely not going to be as lightweight as the firm ground Superfly 4 equivalent. With that being said, it still is a relatively lightweight, low-profile shoe that does have the high-quality upper that you would expect from a top-of-the-line firm ground model. Now, I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 9.2 ounces, the equivalent of 261 grams. So at 9.2 ounces, that is ever so slightly more than what the indoor variation of this shoe would weigh. That is totally normal and kind of to be expected. The turf version always weighs more than the indoor model, but even at 9.2 ounces, that's actually pretty light for a pair of turf shoes, which tend to be around 10, 11, even 12 ounces depending on the model. So if you're looking for a relatively lightweight pair of turf shoes that are nice and low profile and provide a very premium barefoot feel on the ball, given that this does have the Superfly 4 upper, the MercurialX Proximo is a very, very solid option. All right, so here is a look at the MercurialX Proximo Streets on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock black laces that come with the shoes. And on my right foot, I have a pair of metallic gold reflective SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. You can find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, obviously it does have the upper of a Superfly 4, so they feel quite similar to a pair of Superfly 4s. The general shape is more slender. It does have a tighter fit overall. No extra space on the inside of the shoe. So if you do have a wider foot type, probably not the best option. You also have to take into consideration that the upper really isn't going to stretch much. The way it fits from right out of the box is the way it's going to fit for its entire lifespan. The Flyknit upper is relatively flexible from right out of the box. Of course, because this does have a mid-cut design, it does have the somewhat unusual fit and feel in the heel, especially when they are brand new. And if you haven't worn a mid-cut model from Nike, I strongly recommend just breaking them in very, very slowly to avoid blisters and any kind of discomfort. Don't wear these straight into a game. Don't wear these straight into a shooting session because you will have problems with blisters. Now, like I said, once broken in, they are relatively comfortable. And again, in comparison to the Superfly 4, the shape is similar, but the general fit and feel on feet is a little bit different. And that's mainly because it's on a completely different outsole, so that's kind of to be expected. Width-wise, again, it is a tighter fitting shoe, so probably not the best option for wider foot types. And in terms of sizing, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So again, just like the Superfly 4, if you are looking to order a pair for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. All right, guys, that is it for my review of the Nike MercurialX Proximo Street in the latest gold colorway. If you are looking for more information on this particular shoe, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find high quality images of this exact pair that I took myself to give you a better idea as to how these actually do look in person, as well as buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $150 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding the MercurialX Proximo Street, leave them down below in the comment section. I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.